and I'ma do it again. Watch me win, then watch me do it again. Tell 'em I can't take no loss. My team hold no L's, no. Aiming for the top, can't make it by myself. I ain't taking no loss. I ain't taking no loss. Look, I'm a
Peace and welcome to another episode of Elevate the Mic. And I'm your host, Max Mupese. Today, I'm joined by a guest who's a business person, an entrepreneur, and somebody who gives back to the city of Montreal in a unique manner. Let us all welcome Louis Jeremiah. How you doing, man?
Thank you, brother. Thank you for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Love is love.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
What's something that you would say, well, how could you define your year of 2025 so far?
2025 so far, it's been a lot of planning and prepping for the season I have coming up. So it's a lot of behind the scenes work of what I do, and I say for me it's fun still to be honest with you, just because I understand like in a matter of time I'm going to be actually living this throughout my time. So like I'm looking forward to that, but this is the part I can't skip either, right?
That's it.
So that's what it's looked like for the past month, yeah.
When you say you can't skip, it makes me think of how every time we go through something, a success journey, you can't skip steps.
No.
Like it's literally like baking a cake,
Yeah.
creating a whole recipe. So if ever you miss out on one ingredient, you skip and step, it's just gonna mess up a lot of things afterwards.
Absolutely.
So I want to take it back to the early beginnings. If I'm not mistaken, you were born and raised in Montreal?
Yeah, a little Burgundy.
Grew up in Little Burgundy,
Yes, sir.
the mecca,
Yes,
the black community of Montreal, the
Yes,
mecca
sir.
of it. So how was it growing up in specifically Montreal, obviously, but Little Burgundy, and some of the things you've learned about yourself and character development, character building moments that you've had growing up in that neighborhood?
I mean, for me, I had to grow up fast. So I mean, unfortunately, obviously I had a childhood, but my childhood probably looked a lot different than a lot of people's childhood. And then, like I said, I had to grow up fast. So a lot of independence, a lot of like toughness, a lot of just like a will to like wanted to succeed or wanted to get out of like my circumstances or my surroundings was big for me. So it definitely built a lot of character for me to move forward in my life and what I'm doing today, for sure.
Got it. Like a lot of challenges that definitely shaped the way you perceived a lot of things as well, right?
Absolutely.
And what would you say, what kind of student were you at the time?
Student, growing up, are you talking my younger years or
Yes,
like overall?
even overall.
I mean, I feel like it was an okay student. I mean, okay enough to like graduate from high school and go to college. Unfortunately, I didn't like graduate from college, but I was the first at the time, first in my family to even graduate from high school and go to college. So for me, it was a huge accomplishment. Yeah, absolutely. But I've decided to like not continue going to school because for me, I mean, one, I had to work and make money, and I needed money at the time, and I didn't like. It just wasn't resonating with me anymore once I got into to college. And if I'm being transparent, I felt like the school I went to, it helped me get out of high school, but it didn't really prepare me for college. And so I kind of like, I had some difficulties, and it just, like, I guess, like, turned me off from, like, wanting to get up every day and be motivated to go to school.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes also it's like, when you're unsure of like the route you're taking when you go into school, specifically when you pass high school, I feel like the college days also challenges us in a way where like you ask yourself, is this really worth it going to college, or should I do a trade? But oftentimes it takes people in our environment, or even once we're exposed to those things, then we start to think differently, or even see it as it's a possibility for me to go that route.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, hip hop is something that's very influential. It had a lot of influence in my life. I'm pretty sure it did in your life as well. So, what was a life-defining moment when you? The mic, huh?
Sorry, just one moment. Yeah, thank you. Sorry, there's just an issue with rubbing on one of the microphones.
Okay, cool.
Don't cut.
Is it me? Maybe this was like rubbing on this.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what it is.
This was rubbing here?
I think maybe.
Maybe want to put it lower?
I'm gonna sticker.
Okay.
Put in the yes.
Sure.
Okay.
Was it rubbing the whole time?
Not that much.
Okay.
Okay. It's Galerie Cater Art, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Galerie Cater Art. Yeah. Like catering food, but we cater art.
Mm.
No, don't cook. No. And then Max will just take it back to the start of that question.
Perfect. Let's get it. Yeah, I thought I was gonna be tired. I actually have more juice in me, man.
Shake, man.
Yeah, man. Shoot. I think the only part that gets me tired is when I do the intro. I'm like, ah, shit. Let me just get to the questions. I keep repeating it, but yeah. I like it. I like it. Is everybody having fun? Y'all having fun? Yeah.
It's been super cool.
Amazing. Thank you.
Really nice interviews, really.
I appreciate that.
Amazing. Really cool, really cool.
Thank you.
I'm on my back
Yeah.
to you guys all
Okay.
the time.
Oh, right.
I'm because I have to be
I
ready.
appreciate it. It's all good. Let's do it.
Okay, Max, we just go from that question again.
Perfect.
Okay. Whenever you're good.
Okay.
Okay. 3, go.
Speaking of your childhood, could you tell us a life-defining moment of being part of the hip-hop community or even listening to a certain album that shaped your mindset at that time? Which one would it be, and what would it be exactly that moment?
Well, I was a big fan of Biggie Smalls. So for sure, at a young age, that was like who I probably listened to the most. I would have to say, besides that, T.I. is his first album. I can't remember the name now. It's been so long. I think it was like
Trap music, if I'm not mistaken. I think, that's what it was.
Music, yeah, that album was like fire. Yo. Yeah, and it's like, yeah, I don't know. I guess like his hustle and his like, I don't know. I really enjoyed the energy from the album.
Rubber Band Man.
The Rubber Band Man, and like even like just some of the stuff that he was like talking about, it just resonated with me too. You know. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
That specific moment in your life or whatnot.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's important to go through certain experiences and build a certain skill set or be able to have transferable skills that are going to lead you along or even bring you to a certain level, right? So why am I saying this is because I noticed that you wore different hats, many different hats. You also had a clothing store at one point, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yep.
Ran fashion shows.
Yeah, I did my own clothing line and did a runway, performance art runway shows.
Okay, that's serious.
Yeah.
So how did that start? When did you realize, okay, I could do this and I'm gonna start doing it?
So I mean, how it happened. I mean, first I was just I had an opportunity to get my hands on some clothing for a very like low price, and it was really good clothing. And I think from there, like having doing that for a while and everyone knowing me for like selling of clothes, there was an opportunity where a guy was selling his store and a clothing store, and I was called to like have a meeting to like go find out more about like this possible investment to sell clothing in an actual retail store. And I learned how he did it and went and like did it the way he did it to get the numbers that he was getting, but like my way as well, you know? And I think for me, like after a couple of years of like doing that, or just to be honest with you, like getting into that space, like doing the photo shoots, doing the videos, doing all these different things to like, promote the clothes, the store and all that stuff, I started to get in my creative space where the juices started flowing. And then after like buying the this different merch to sell, it kind of eventually got like boring for me.
Okay.
So I wanted to like, I'm always like trying to challenge myself. So then like I ended up creating a clothing line. And then with that clothing line, because of the store that I was in at the time, it was like a very streetwear clothing store. And I was trying to do something more like high end. I opened up another location where it was just like a showroom for that brand. And then I also did, I had like a little wall, like a small wall, like maybe like 12 by 12 wall, whatever, that I had like where I featured different artists, visual artists in this space.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so that's kind of like where like the whole gallery thing came, but we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But the for the fashion part of things, when I first launched the clothing, I wanted to showcase it, but I didn't want to showcase it in a way where like most fashion shows you would see like pretty men and women walking up and down like with the garments. I wanted to put on masks so you don't look at their face, and then create a performance art runway show where there's like a lot of movement and stuff like that. So I wanted to be different, you know, and once again challenging myself with that, and so that's how I did the clothing store, the fashion line, and then the performance art shows.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's different, man. Like that's my first time hearing this.
Yeah.
What year was that? Like,
Man,
like-
so 2012 was when I launched this first store. I think 2014 is when I opened up the showroom. And then going into like 2017 is when, yeah, basically I probably stopped around 2017, 18, around there, 17, yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
that's you gained at least more than 10 years of experience, would you say, right?
Yeah, I mean, creative-wise, yeah, I was started to like tap into my creativity, and I would say like, I mean, I've always been somewhat creative. I just never really expressed it because of like, to be honest with you, like coming from Little Burgundy, like
It's different.
it's a
Yeah.
little bit different, and it wasn't like, it's not that I couldn't, I just chose not to because there was nobody around me really like tapping into their creativity like that. I mean, unless they were doing like, you know, rapping or something like that, but like the type of creativity I wanted to like experience and
My
stuff.
mind just building shit.
Exactly. Like it wasn't so much like I didn't really have anybody to like that was doing that, so I just kind of like kept it until like I had the opportunity to like express it. You know what I mean?
That's why I say I applaud you for that, because I was wondering, were you influenced by anybody in your neighborhood? Was there anybody you were exposed to? Because sometimes that's what it takes. It takes a certain person to be the first to do it, and then you see it and you're telling yourself, okay, I could do it based on what I saw. So, or it was just basically your own inspiration for the most part.
So I would say, I mean, for what I'm doing now or what I've done, like not fully, but like there has been like some inspirations. Like you probably Ricky D.
Yeah.
So Ricky D was like definitely like somebody when I was really young. I remember like kind of like following behind him, and he was doing parties, and I saw him doing like events, and then I remember like when like even like I think Off the Hook.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
The one on Sikaston, when that first opened up. I remember being there when they were doing renovations and like the whole, and even when they had one in like the South Shore, like all of it. So I saw like the whole like behind the scenes of like getting a clothing store like put together, and then I also saw like the event part too, right? So I guess like there's some like inspiration there that happened for sure, but then after that it's like just kind of like I guess educating myself, seeing what's out there that like inspired me, and then like. I have a hard time doing the same thing as somebody else.
Okay.
Like, I'm always like trying to like whatever I do, like it's not that like I can see something and be like, yo, this is cool. But then for me, I'm like, okay, but how do I do it like my way? You know what I mean? Like how do I be unique? How do I try to like put it in a way like that I can be proud of like doing it and not just like following somebody else.
Right. Not necessarily copycatting, but
Nah, I can't do
you
that.
build. You draw inspiration from it, but you
Yeah.
build it in your own manner.
Absolutely, always.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us about Galerie Cater Art.
Yes. Galerie Cater Art. So, I mean, man, like, this is my baby. This is like, it's so interesting that, like, I'm here today with this and I'm thriving with this because, like, it was when I came up with the idea, I mean, I did think it was a great idea, but then, like, I realized that, like, this is, like, you know, hasn't been done before, right? So Galerie Cater Art is the mobile art gallery. It's the first of its kind. And like, for me, I understood that, like, you know, in the art world, experiencing what I've experienced and, like, you know, tapping in, I feel like, you know, rather than having like people going to see art, I wanted to bring art to the people. I understood the power of art, and I understood that, like, it was necessary, that, like, this was something that I had to do, not just for, like, the artists, but even for the people who get to experience the art, you know, or the collectors who get to purchase the art and, like, share this, you know, these pieces and this, you know, as well. So I mean, there's many reasons why, like, this thing had to happen, but, like, for me, most importantly, it was just like I understood, like, the gallery. The gallery ways, in the way they operate and everything, it's just very old. Like, and I'm not like not to put anybody down, because, to be honest with you, like, they do serve who they serve, and so, like, you know, I'm definitely not taking anything away from that, but I do understand we're in 2025 now, and it's like, you know, there has to be some changes at some point, you know, and if, like, you know, if I can at least just create another avenue for artists to be able to take and thrive from, I mean, like, that's what it is. It's not taking anything away from the stationary guys. It's just creating another opportunity, another avenue.
And it goes back to what you said about you always wanted to do things in a unique manner from your own perspective.
Absolutely.
So you saying that is not necessarily throwing them under the bus. It's just based on your own preference or your own way of doing things, and, you know, that's how you stand out at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely,
dope.
yeah.
That's really dope.
Yeah.
So it's inspiring, connecting, and transforming communities is your company's mission.
Yeah.
Can you share with us one of your greatest success stories?
Man, so with this mobile gallery, I would have to say, when I brought the gallery back to my neighborhood where I grew up, I was able to do an exhibition. So it was a photo exhibition that I did a photo shoot. I walked through Burgundy with an amazing photographer, Sean Bennett, and at the time, like, it was, like, I didn't fully know what I was gonna do with the project. I knew that, like, I wanted to, like, use it on more than one project, like, but I did just want to have that walk through Burgundy and just take images, black and white images of Burgundy, kind of giving the feel of, like, back in the day. So I did an exhibition, about a photo exhibition of Little Burgundy, in Little Burgundy, on my block in front of, just a few steps away from my childhood home.
Dope, man.
And I brought, like, the whole community
That's
out
dope.
to be able to come and experience, if they've never experienced the art gallery experience, and, like, in their own hood, you know, and to have everybody come out, and, like, it was beautiful, man. Like, honestly, it was one of my favorite exhibitions that I was able to curate, and definitely impactful. And, like, yeah, I want to show people that, like, you know, it's like, this art gallery thing, it doesn't have to be like this, like, old Montreal and, like, you know, the rich people and this, that, like, it's like, or even, like, you know, even, like, for the artists who, you know, do, like, you know, their exhibitions, and it's not so grand.
Right.
It's just, like, getting more, just showing people that we can bring this gallery anywhere, and, like, you can, like, bring your art to your community. You know what I mean?
That's different, man.
Yeah, because part of the
That's
exhibition is that, right? Because we're limited the space that's in the gallery, part of the exhibition is where it is parked, you know? So it's really cool that, like, we're able to, like, have that, you know?
Got it.
Yeah.
I want to touch on, I like what you said about creating exhibitions, but one thing I wanted to ask you is, how do you create unique exhibitions that transcend conventional boundaries?
I mean, once again, like, it's like, for us to do exhibitions and do it in places where you would typically not, like, I was able to do an exhibition in, like, once again, Little Burgundy last summer, in the middle, like, at Campbell Park, and then I parked the gallery in the middle of the court.
Mid-90s or early 2000s, people would look left and right to see who's coming behind the card.
Right? It was like, that's it. So I remember there was a time where, like, I mean,
Campbell
like,
Park was serious, man.
right? Right. So for me, I remember I had this moment when I was there with the art gallery, and like all like these kids were coming in, everyone's coming in and enjoying it. And I was just like, man, I'm like, I would have never thought like that. Like years later, you know, I'm here with like I'm bringing an art gallery to my neighborhood. You know what I mean? I mean, I've even been able to like go to other neighborhoods too with the art gallery as well. So obviously bringing it to these different neighborhoods as well and showcasing some of their local artists inside the mobile gallery in their neighborhoods as well. Kind of just inspiring the youth too, you know, like because I had some really interesting conversations with some of these youth too. Like they've never been in an art gallery, or they've never like really like seen like this high quality type art like in the like up close and like understanding what it is that they're seeing and experiencing as well. And then being able to even like tap in with the artist and like have a conversation with the artist so that they're being like really inspired by that too as well.
Man, it's important what you're saying, because we know that there's Le Musée des Beaux-Arts here, but a lot of people feel that they're way too distant and they don't necessarily connect culturally to it. And for you to bring it in the neighborhood, it resonates a lot more, a lot different too, because they get to see culture and they get to touch it, to feel it. So would you say that was also important for you to manifest in a way where people could understand, okay, you know what, I'm part of this culture?
Yeah, and if I'm being transparent, like I'll say here too, is like I also parked in front of the museum too with my mobile gallery.
Yo,
and like
that's
to be
bold.
And like bold as hell for sure. And like to be honest with you, I've been doing this for 2 seasons now. I've parked everywhere, anywhere, like, and never had any problems.
Damn.
The only time I ever had a problem was parking in front of that museum. And unfortunately, the director of the museum came out, Stefan. He came out and he decided to ask me to leave. And I mentioned to him like, hey, listen, like this is like public property. Like I wasn't selling any art. I was just showcasing some amazing artists that would never have an opportunity, or you know, don't have the opportunity to showcase their work in this museum. I'm showcasing it outside in a beautiful gallery that everybody is enjoying. Like, I mean, the people who are walking by, the people that work at the museum came in and loved it. The people from like the tours and stuff came in and loved it. Everyone loved it except for this guy, Stefan, who's the director. And he came and like wanted me to move. And I told him like, you know, like I'm not moving. And then because I never had nobody tell me to move, and I wasn't like, I just didn't understand why he would, when I showed him, like it was just, it's all good, you know. Anyways, long story short, he ended up calling the police on us and saying that we were selling art illegally.
Okay,
and we didn't have a part. And so he had to go to out of his way to lie. And then the police came. We spoke with them. They loved what we were doing too. Took a walk through the gallery as well. And this was asked like nicely, like, you know, like just to kind of like, you know, like if you don't mind wrapping it up. And so we wrapped it up not too long after, and that was it. But yeah, man, I mean, like, I'm parking this wherever, man. Like, it's wherever the artists need to be seen, and like wherever I could do to like give them the exposure that they deserve. Like, it's just what I'm gonna do. So.
And the people love it. So
love it.
come on,
Love it.
It's a no-brainer.
Absolutely.
Now, in 2015, you experienced a devastating tragedy, which was the loss of your mother, right? And can you tell us how going through this dark time allowed you to create a blessing in disguise?
Man, so it's good. Like now I'm like, it's a lot lighter for me to talk about. I had some trouble with talking about this for quite some time, but like now I like, I'll say like it's been 10 years now that my mom had transitioned, and like for me, my mom was somebody who I came to talk about. Like anytime I was going through anything in life, like I would go to her and she would just like make it all good, you know, like always. She always knew what to say, you know. And then like when she had transitioned, like for me it was like this was the hardest thing I ever had to go through, and I didn't have her to like talk to, you know, and to get through it. So what I did at the time, I was like, I dived into like drinking alcohol, to be honest with you. That was like, I just wanted to numb
Pain, no?
the pain, man. Like I didn't know how to like function, and to be honest with you, like it really like it took over my life at the time, and that's kind of where like I stopped. I was trying to still do the fashion and everything, but like that's where I just needed to take a step back from it, because like it was just like, as much as I was keeping myself busy, I wasn't grieving. and so it like
damn.
it really ate me up, man. And so what happened was after like a year or two of like just like drinking my sorrows or whatnot away. In that midst, I had my daughter was born, and on her first birthday, I gifted my sobriety to her, and it's been now over 7 years I've been sober.
Man, congratulations.
And, thank you, brother.
Shoot.
Thank you, man. And because of my sobriety, to be honest with you, that's how like this life I'm living now, it's even possible, man. Like without my sobriety, I don't think I would be here today, or even just like thriving like the way I am today. You know what I mean? So that allowed me to like want to go into a space where it was like, you know what, like I just want to live, and I want to live the life that I'm deserving to live, and whatever that looks like, however that looks like, I just need to go ahead and reach for it, you know what I mean? And so like, yeah, me like figuring out, this whole like patch, the project that I'm doing now, and it just kind of came with time, and understanding like this is like something I wanted to do. I wanted to get up every day and live a life of purpose, and now I'm doing it.
Purpose, man.
Yeah.
That's the key word.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I'm pretty sure it makes you think of like how sometimes drinking alcohol is not necessary. It's not necessary.
Nah, bro.
You go into an event, like social event, and then you see a bunch of alcohol. You're like, okay, I don't need to drink, but because it's a social event, then you tend to do it.
Yeah.
What I do is a little hack I like to share. I take some cranberry juice and I sip it. Give the impression that I'm drinking alcohol, but at the end of the day, you're not necessarily forced to do it.
Nah, it's really a social thing too. Like it's like you just said, I'll do the same. I'll just put like Red Bull. I mean, now I don't drink Red Bull, but at the time, like I would, or just like you said, cranberry. Just have something to drink, and you're sipping and talking. Like it doesn't necessarily be like where, I mean, some people feel like they do, but nobody actually needs to have like do any drugs or drink to like do anything. Like it's a badass habit that like we all kind of like adopted from like maybe it's where you grew up or who you were like hanging around, but
right.
yeah, it's everywhere too, man. Like alcohol is everywhere, so it's like
Seriously,
it's unfortunate. Like it's literally everywhere. Like and like even nowadays, like look at the sponsorships, bro. Like everything that has nothing to do with alcohol even is sponsored by alcohol.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean?
That's a good
like,
point.
it is what it is, man. Like but yeah, I just realized like I've gained so much from like not drinking alcohol. To go back to that would be insanity, bro. Yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Now, how important was it for you to team up with, if I'm not mistaken, her name is
No, so it's pronounced Ciancha.
Ciancha,
but everyone calls her Z.
Z, got it. Ciancha.
Yeah.
She's a co-founder of the company, right?
Absolutely.
And to develop your vision, and how did both of you meet?
Yeah. So to be honest with you, this is great because like it kind of ties into like my whole mom thing too, right? Like I was doing I had gotten an opportunity to do something about grieving. So it was like a whole like they were casting like but like filming people and their experiences of like their loved ones that passed on.
I remember, that video circulated. I remember watching that one.
You see what I'm saying?
They had like a pink background, something like a colorful background.
I think so. I can't remember right now, but it was basically like I'm so happy I had the opportunity to be a part of that because like it actually like I didn't realize like I needed to like get that out. And so when I did that, she was actually a photographer behind the scenes.
Oh wow!
And it was just like so I met her like at one of probably my most vulnerable moments.
That's serious.
And we just like we became friends like right off the rip. Like we just like were there for each other, and like I talked to her about this project that I wanted to do, and like she absolutely like loved the project and the vision that I had, and so when it was time for me to like execute it, she was on board, and like she just been rocking with me ever since the beginning. Like she honestly like she is like behind the scenes still, like, and I'm trying to like bring her up in front with me. She does, like, she's been trying a little bit, but she likes being behind the scenes for the most part and doing a lot of that work from the website, social media, to like handling all the stuff behind the scenes that I like need help with, to be honest with you. Like she really like puts this all together really well, like, and her love and passion that she puts into it, it's just next to mine, like, you know. And then I'm blessed to be able to, like, you know, not only share her as like a partnership, but like that's actually my partner in like life, period. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's a beautiful thing to be able to like wake up every day, do what I love with the person I love. You know what I mean?
That's it, man.
Yeah, man.
It's doable, huh?
Yeah.
Like, you realize it's. I see a lot of people tend to say, you know, it's hard, but whatever. It depends on what you focus on. Like, if you're able to tell yourself it's gonna work, or it has to work, or it has to work, then you'll figure out a solution. You know, at the end of the day, and it's always gonna be, like the previous guest that came earlier said, you either grow from it or you learn. One or the other. Like, you're gonna end up doing both. You know, at the end of the day. So when it comes down to like advice you'd give anybody who wants to practice patience, right? Because what I get from your journey is like you also had to practice patience in order to, you know, get that breakthrough, wait for that to happen. So what's the best advice you'd give anyone who wants to practice patience and can't wait for their breakthrough?
Yeah. I mean, man, like, it's like, I mean, it's a journey, man. It's a journey. Like, it's not going to happen, like, overnight, you know? Like, as much as, like, you sometimes see those things happening overnight, like, I mean, as fast as, like, as it can be something that blows up, it can also, like, you know what I mean? Disintegrate as well, too. So it's like, I think building a foundation, man. I think trying things. I think, like, being okay and cool with the process, you know, and like believing in yourself and just understanding that like it's gonna take time for you to like get to where you and a lot of times it's like I thought when I was doing the clothing store, I thought I was gonna do clothing stores
your whole life.
I thought I was gonna have a chain of clothing stores. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
When I did the fashion, I thought I was gonna do fashion, like runway, Paris, all this stuff. Like, this is my mind. You know what I mean? And now here I am with the gallery, right? So it's like sometimes you don't even know what that thing is gonna be. Like, you just gotta keep going and figuring it out as you go, you know? Like, even when I launched the mobile gallery, like I'm doing something that's never been done before. There's no blueprint, there's no like nothing to go off of. Like, I have to create the formula to this, right? And so I went into this not knowing what to do. I had to like, but I know I'm confident in myself and my capabilities of, like, you know, getting this, like, making it something special and making it work. So I just made sure that I dived into this project. And one of the things I will always say to anybody is, like, whenever you make a decision on whatever it is you want to do, make sure your whole entire being is aligned to that decision. You cannot fail. It's only a matter of time at that point, you know what I mean? And that's where the patience comes in. Like, just make sure your whole entire being is aligned with that decision that you made, and with time and effort, of course, you'll get there. You know what I mean? And that should be reassurance for you by itself. You know what I mean?
Got it. Yeah. And of all the projects you've worked on, which one would you say is the most proud of? That you're the most proud of to date?
Well, I will say, I have to say the mobile gallery for me, only because, like, I'm impacting a lot of lives with this project, and I'm going to continue to do that, and like to expand on that, like, and like get better with it. But I would have to say the mobile gallery, cause just not only because of where like I'm at with it, what I've been able to do so far, but like honestly, like the vision I have for it, I know this is like, it's just something where it's like, it's gonna do what it needs to do, and it's really gonna like make a difference and help a lot of people. So yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I like that, man. Yeah. One thing I always told myself is like, I want to know what does it take to become an art collector. So based on your experience or the knowledge that you have, what are some pros and cons of becoming an art collector, and what's the best way to go about it?
Yeah. Oh man, I think it's for everybody. I mean, like, they should look into understanding, like, you know, collecting of art, investing in art. You know, this is like one art is never gonna die. And
True.
honestly, like,
True.
but unfortunately, the artist will. You know what I mean? And as we know, I mean, like, not to say like, oh, when they're dead, this is only when it's gonna be valuable. No, absolutely not. But like what I'm saying is that like it is a good investment, especially if you learn how to make those investments. So one of the things I would always say as a collector is like, first off, you would have to like just experience art, and find what you love, find what moves you, what pulls you, what like, you know, what resonates with you. And then once you find that, then find artists that in that space that you can, you know, follow, see, you know, experience their work, and possibly invest into them. Do your research about those artists as well, because I mean, there's some artists who, you know, are trajectory to go and do great things, and they just have that will to like keep going until they do. And then there's artists who, unfortunately, they end up like stopping at some point. So now what happens is like for the collector, like the artist that goes the distance, well, that's your investment it's a good investment, right? Because it's like the artist is getting better with time, the value is going up. And then when it comes to like the artists who stop, well then now what you did is you invested into somebody's hobby.
Got it. Okay,
and now it sucks because like now it's not to say it's not valuable, but it does lose value when the artist just stops. You know, unless the artist was, like I was saying before, it dies, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But then that happens, and then because there's never going to be any original artwork produced by that artist, whatever was produced and out there is going to gain a lot of value.
Got it.
Yeah.
So the artist always has to, you know, perfect their craft
Absolutely.
or improve.
Absolutely.
Man, that's what brings the most value out of it at the end of the day. Okay.
Absolutely. And always making sure that like too, as a collector, that you're getting the paperwork that goes with this artwork too. You know, the certificate of authenticity, all of it. You know, just to have that, keep it in a safe place, because that holds weight too for the pieces that you eventually might want to resell at some point. You know.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's why when they say, like, let's say something, your house burns down for, you know, hopefully nobody's house is burning down. I'm saying this. You got to make sure that you protect that collection, right?
Yeah, absolutely. At least like, I mean, you would obviously put that on your insurance. Yeah. So if that, like, God forbid, like something does like that happens, that you do, at least, you know, you're covered with that. But I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be a different type of insurance, right? Like,
you would have to put that, so your art we would put on your home insurance if it's in your home or wherever space it is, you would put it on insurance for sure. Yeah.
Got it.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
And there's a lot more deeper like stuff that goes into like collecting art and like the business behind it. But like, yeah, it's like a whole. But yeah,
school. Literally.
But that's it. You do it, and I would say like, yo, educate yourself about collecting art and the investment. You know, people educate themselves about like the stock market. You know what I mean? Invest, or they educated themselves about crypto and all that stuff, and you know what I mean. And they're looking to see what to buy and do. It's the same thing with artists, man. It's just a different space, you know, to invest. That's all.
Got it.
Yeah.
And what would you like to see more of from today's artists you've worked with, or even? And what are some things you're proud of when you see today's artists you work with?
So for me, I'd probably tell every artist, like, just, jump. You know, like, when I say jump, I mean, like, even for me with the Galerie Cater Art, like, that was me, like, jumping. You know, like,
Leap of faith.
Leap of faith, man. You gotta take a leap of faith. You gotta put yourself out there. You know, as an artist, like, you know, I'm blessed to have worked with quite a few artists now, and like I'll say, like, I love to see when artists jump, and then like there's opportunities that we have, or there's opportunities that they have that come up, and they don't play scared, and they actually take the opportunity to showcase themselves, their work. You know, give themselves the most opportunity to be successful, or to at least push the needle more and more, you know, throughout their journey. So I think like jumping and like taking opportunities, you know, like social media is cool. You definitely want to post your stuff and do that, but exhibiting your work, you know, whether it's expos, whether even like art fairs, I always recommend those are things. Art fairs are art fairs. Like there's a lot of big art fairs out there. Art fairs is where all the collectors go. This is where a lot of artists do really well. Yeah.
Would Art Basel, or how do you say it? Art Basel.
Yeah,
Art Basel. Thank
yeah.
you. Would it be? It's considered an art
It's
fair.
the mecca of art fairs.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the mecca. It's like this is where all the art. This is where everyone like galleries, collectors. You know, like a lot of artists. Like, I'm actually gonna be going down there.
Seriously?
Yeah.
As a speaker?
As a gallery at a fair.
Soon enough as a speaker too.
I mean, I would love that.
Let's
yeah.
speak that into
Yeah.
existence.
Yeah. But honestly, like, it's like a dream of mine to do something like that, and like going into this season, there's gonna be a lot of changes. So like, and that's one of them. Like, we're gonna be doing more art fairs as well.
That's amazing,
and giving
man.
this opportunity to artists to get into these art fairs because they have to be represented by a gallery, or most of them have to be represented by a gallery.
Okay.
So we'll be able to open those doors for a lot of artists moving forward.
Got it. Before I ask that last question, or a few more questions, you said represented by a gallery. So would the gallery be considered as like an agent?
Yeah, we basically, as a gallery, we lock in the spot, so at the booth, and depending on like how big your booth is, it could be for 12 artists, 24 artists, you know, and whatever number that is that you decide to like take or buy.
Yeah.
And then you give the opportunity for artists to be able to now, like, because you, as the gallery, you select now the artists who will be filling in that booth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
And every artist would have a wall in that booth. When I say booth, it's not like a small. It's
small,
like
it's a loop.
it's a bunch of walls basically in a section.
Okay, got
Yeah.
it. Got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Man, that's
Yeah.
good, man.
Yeah, so
Sharing
it's-
good gems right now.
Yeah, so I'm trying to do that. I'm going to be doing that here in Canada, in Toronto, and then also Miami as well. And I have plans to do like other cities in the U.S., but like that's going to be, like this year I don't want to like put too much on my plate because there is a lot of stuff we're doing this year. So I want to I just kind of want to give everything I have to what I have going and not to like stress myself out
Yeah,
too thin
just
and
spread
then
yourself,
you know what I mean? So yeah.
And burnouts and all of that. So
Nah,
our
man,
mental health is.
I've learned a lot in this last 2 years, and one of the things I definitely would have to say is taking care of my health, my mental, spiritual, physical. To be able to do all of what I do, it's important. Like that, I'm sharp. You know, I get up every day. I got to be sharp. You know, so
True.
yeah, there's no room for
That's it.
anything else.
So I want to move on to the segment called If I Had the Chance To. So if you had a chance to sit in front of your 16-year-old self, you're in front of that person today, he watches the interview, what's the first thing you'd tell the person,
Man,
that young Louis Jeremiah?
yeah. It's probably what I still tell myself today, to be honest with
Okay.
you, bro. Like, it's just like, keep going, man. Like, keep going. There's gonna be a lot of like challenges. It's just, but these challenges or these things that happen, like, it's just all in place to like guide me and like help me like along my way. Like, I don't look at any of these things that I go through that like are like quote unquote bad or whatever. Because there's always going to be those things, no matter what. You can't, like, you know, there's always going to be something. But every time I've experienced that, my pivot was always allowed me to do something better. You know what I mean? So now when things
Blessing
happen,
in disguise.
yeah. So when things happen, like, get excited a bit. You know what I mean? Like, get excited because you're about to turn up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's how, honestly, bro.
That's a good way of looking at it.
It's
for real.
true, bro. Because I know there's going to be other things, but the thing is, I never like. And it's crazy, but I think maybe I'm just really at peace in life or not. I don't know. But like, I don't stress. I don't like overthink things. I just kind of like, I slow it down, make it simple, and I find a solution. And, you know, and usually my solution, like I said, is my pivot. And my pivot is usually better. So I would just tell him like, yo, man, just say it's gonna be a hell of a ride, and like, yo, just enjoy that shit, and like do your best to like, you know, do your best, the best to be present to it, you know? Do your best to be present to it, because there's a lot of things that can happen that we like, you know, I'm good with like reflecting sometimes like after the fact, you know what I mean? But sometimes it's like when you're in it, man, you gotta enjoy it too, man. Like it just makes it that much better, you know? Like, so I've been doing better with that too. Like, it's like I'm moving fast, but it's like I wanna stop sometimes and just be like, all right, you know what? Like,
Take it easy.
yeah, like, you know, I just did that, like, you know, let me soak that in, like, you know what I mean, let me
Embrace it,
use that to like
yeah.
help me moving forward, you know what I mean, rather than waiting until it's all done and then I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, this is cool,
Right.
you know, like this is cool, all right, next, you know what I mean, like, yeah, nah, just enjoying it, yeah.
Cool. Okay. Now, where do you see yourself in the next 3 to 5 years and 10-year plus? or even your company,
yeah,
family you got?
yeah. You know, I remember I even ask sometimes like artists that question. You know, like where do you see yourself? And a lot of times I get like the answer I get back is like, you know, I'm not sure. And I understand the like not sure why, because we don't know.
Yeah.
But what I would like, I would like, and what I'm gonna push for, is I want Galerie Cater Art to be everywhere, man. I want Cater Art to be everywhere, man. And when I say everywhere, I mean like this is not. It wasn't just made for Montreal. I want this to be something that like we can share with the world, and like I truly mean that. Like I mean, I'm not like, I know it might sound grand, it might sound big, but I mean like I'm not gonna stop. I'm not just speaking. I'm gonna do it, bro. Like I really have it in me to like not stop and just keep going till I get it done. You know what I mean? And this is something that I understand is gonna really help a lot of artists, not just in my city, but artists like everywhere. You know what I mean? And because I'm gonna figure out how to do this for real, and the formula for this, and perfect that, then after that, it's just like sharing that with the world, you know what I mean? And like allowing as many artists as possible to be able to benefit from this this opportunity that we will be able to provide with them, you know?
Got it.
Yeah. But then I'll also add, besides everywhere, I want to do something that I'll be able to like give back, like for real. Like I want to do something that's gonna be like, that's gonna help, like not just like the artists we work with, but like I want to give back to like my community, my community, or like even like not just my community, like just like communities, you know, that like, you know, like, you know, I came from like welfare housing and not having much, you know what I mean, and like I don't want to like be a millionaire or something, like to just like have money. I want to like be able to make money, maybe to like help and do things to like really like make a difference. I think for me that's important, that like I'm able to like help as many people as possible while I have the time like on this earth, you know what I mean? Like that's important. But like obviously with the artists it's like immediate, and we're hand in hand because of that what I do. But like I need to do more than just that.
That's
like, for
it.
me, I need to do more than just that.
That's powerful, man.
Yeah.
And last question, how does Lewis wants to be remembered?
It's probably what I just said, man. Like I
Really,
just want to like loving service, man. Like I want to be. It's not even about nothing else, but like just I was a good human being while I was here. I did my part to contribute and help, show love, and just like man, just like really help a lot of people. That's probably like. That's it, and whatever capacity that is too, you know. Like I said, just not just like with the artists, like just want to be somebody who made a difference, man, and made it count while I was here. You know what I mean? And it's just as simple as that, man. It doesn't have to be anything else, and that's what I think that's how I want to be remembered, man.
That's it, man. Tell us how people could follow you, plug your Instagram, social medias, and whatnot.
Yeah. So you can follow the gallery, because I don't care about following me. But the gallery at Galerie Cater Art, the website, www.galeriecaterart.com. I mean, there's going to be a lot of new things happening this season. So I definitely want everyone to tune in, especially if you're an artist or if you're a collector. Or you're an art enthusiast, man. Like there's going to be a lot of really cool things we're going to be doing, and we're going to be making our impact moving forward and spreading the art like we always do.
That's it, man. Just want to say, man, I see the fire in your eyes, and I could tell that you're really on a path, on the road to success, and just
thank you, brother.
Keep on keeping on, keep your foot on that gas pedal. And just keep achieving as much as you can. Seriously.
I appreciate that, and like same goes to you, man. Like honestly, your platform and what you're doing, man. Like I all the best to you, brother. Like for real, man. Like
Appreciate
I wish you nothing but the best, and keep going, man, and keep striving to be great, man.
Thank
I mean, you could do anything you put your mind to, bro. That's one thing. Like we heard that as kids, and they told us that we didn't probably understand it fully then, but then we got older and we started like doing it for real, and then we realized like, yo, we really could do anything we put our mind to, you know what I mean? So you're doing it, I'm doing it, and we encourage everybody else to do it, you know what I mean? Like it's all on you, you know what I mean? So thank you for this opportunity, bro, and like thank you for having this conversation. I appreciate you. Man.
Love, man.
Love.
There you have it. Another episode of Elevate the Mic, where we elevate the mindset and skill sets of individuals who are part of the hip hop community. Peace.
Holla, why do they doubt the kid? I'm about to prove them all wrong again. I got a low tolerance, cause they don't even know what the problem is. It's me. You waiting on the boy to fail, then hold your breath and face your death. Cause you play a roulette with each step I progress, no less. Go ahead and place your bets, cause we know where we at, we know we top tier. Cause all the hate that you bring, we know it stops here. I'm taking off like a rocket here and stopping here. It's strange how they cannot see the future, but see profit here. Wait up.